I talk a lot on my channel about the key pillars of fat loss and what you need to focus on in order to achieve a successful weight loss transformation. But what if I told you that if you take one step back from dieting, it's gonna allow you to take 2 steps forward, but more importantly, it's gonna set you up to lose even more fat in the long run. This is the concept of reverse dieting. Now you might be wondering, is it right for me? Should I do it? What are the benefits of doing this? How do you do it properly? I'm gonna cover all that in this video. These are the exact same tips that I give to all my students, and they've all gone to see some amazing results. So you know it works. Before we get started, give this video a like, subscribe to my channel, and hit the bell to get notified every time I post a new video every week. I gotta admit, it took me a hot minute to wrap my head around the concept of reverse dieting, because the whole idea of dieting is to eat less in order to lose weight. And I talk a lot about this on my channel, that one of the side effects of dieting is that it slows down your metabolism, because the human body is an adaptation machine. That's where reverse dieting comes in. It's the exact opposite. You're eating more in order to build muscle, which does increase your weight because muscle weighs more than fat. But in turn, one of its main benefits is that it increases your metabolism. This is why I always say that muscle is the key driver of your metabolism. And the biggest benefit for most people when it comes to reverse dieting is the freedom it gives you when it comes to food, and finally feeling free of the restrictive mindset that a lot of people are in. Because we're always constantly told that in order to lose weight and stay lean, you always just need to cut calories. You need to eat as little food as possible. That mindset has been ingrained in our heads for decades now. But going through a reverse diet cycle and speeding up your metabolism, being able to eat an extra 500 calories, for example, to maintain your weight, can just drastically change how you look at food, your relationship with food, how you view health, your body, and exercise. It can also help balance your hormones. Like, if you've been following my channel, you'll know how important balancing hormones are when it comes to weight loss and health. Like, if you're struggling to lose those last 5 to 10 pounds, they just won't go away, and you've already drastically cut your calories, you're barely eating anything at this point, doing a reverse diet cycle will get you to a point where your new calorie deficit number might be your old maintenance calories, and in turn makes it so much easier to lose those last few pounds. So how do you do it? Well, you want to slowly increase your calories while doing heavy resistance training. You also want to make sure that you're eating adequate protein. And I'm going to break this down in further detail in a second. By the way, I just want to get ahead of this. This does not give you the green light to let yourself go and freestyle your diet. It does not work like that. You're still eating a proper diet here. You're just methodically upping your calorie intake. You can't go YOLO with food and just say you're reverse dieting. The only thing you're reversing there is whatever good you've done so far with your weight loss efforts. Again, the ultimate goal, if you reverse diet properly, is a faster metabolism. You get to eat more in order to maintain your weight. It's the dream. For example, if you're maintaining your weight at 1,700 calories right now, you can reverse diet and may be able to maintain your weight at 2,000 calories. The next question then becomes, is reverse dieting right for you? Should you do it? It depends, and I'm going to give you a few criteria and maybe you'll fit into one of them. Number 1, if you want to increase your general level of happiness, you should reverse diet. Number 2, if your maintenance calories are very low, that you're at a point where you can't fit in enough nutrient-dense food that contain all the vitamins, minerals, and micronutrients that your body needs in order to be healthy, you're getting to a point where you're actually nutrient deficient, you should reverse diet in that case. Number 3, you feel deprived, you're hungry, and you're just not satiated with the amount of calories you're eating to maintain your weight, you should reverse diet for a bit, because if you already feel this way maintaining your weight, you're just going to be fighting a losing battle. It's going to be harder for you to maintain your weight because you're going against your physiology, and this sets you up to just go off and eat everything in sight every time you slip up. It just sets you up to have a bad relationship with food because you feel restricted even though you're eating what you're supposed to eat. Number 4, you just want to be able to eat more and still maintain your weight. You want to be able to have the occasional treat and not stress about how many calories are in that cheesecake you just had. Having a faster metabolism makes that possible. Number 5, you want to keep losing weight but you've already cut your calories way too low. Let's say your maintenance calories right now is 1,500 calories. So if you go on a 500 calorie deficit in order to lose a pound a week, let's say, now you're going to have to eat just 1,000 calories every day. That's not a lot of food. That's not good. But if you reverse diet for a couple of months, let's say, and you get your TDEE to 1,800 calories, for example, you're going to have a lot more wiggle room to play with. TDEE stands for Total Daily Energy Expenditure, in case you're wondering. It's an estimation of how many calories you burn per day when exercise is taken into account. Number 6, you should reverse diet if you've been dieting for a while. If you've been hardcore dieting, you've been restricting your calories for a long time without going back up to maintenance. It might be a good idea then to just take a break from dieting. Doing a reverse diet to get your metabolism back up to where it should be is extremely important to your long-term success and just overall sanity. Number 7, you want to do a lean bulk. You want to add some muscle while minimizing fat gain. That's the dream. You're slowly adding lean muscle mass without putting on too much body fat at the same time. I'm personally reverse dieting right now for that last reason. I want to do a lean bulk. I'm a competitive Olympic weightlifter. That's my background. I'm not competing right now, so I want to get stronger. I'm also doing Muay Thai and I'd like to pack more power in my punches and kicks. I also just want to go on a bit of a diet break. I want to increase my general level of happiness, which is criteria number 1. It's okay to take a little break every once in a while. And I want to speed up my metabolism in that process so I can eat more to maintain my weight. I'm currently lifting 4 days a week right now and I do Muay Thai 5 days a week. I probably should slow down my training a little bit. I mean, I love it, don't get me wrong. My body just feels broken 90% of the time. And I feel like if my tiny frame can pack a little bit more muscle, it can hold up to training a lot better. I think I'm at 1700 calories as my maintenance calories right now. And I'd like to be able to eat 2000 calories to maintain my weight, even if I dial things down a little bit when it comes to my training. That's my goal. So how do you reverse diet properly? This is kind of lame to say, but reverse dieting is different for everyone because human beings come in different shapes and sizes. There's no one size fits all approach here, but let me give you some guidelines. The prerequisite is that you need to use a calorie counting app like MyFitnessPal because you can't control what you can't measure. You've probably already noticed that I've been throwing some numbers here. I got those numbers from my MyFitnessPal account and you should check out this video if you want to know how to use it properly. So the first step is you need to slowly increase your calories every week. Yes, the goal is you want to be able to eat more, but you don't just want to go from 1700 calories, which again is my maintenance calories, to let's say 2200 calories right away. Your body just won't know what to do with all those extra calories. It's just gonna get stored as fat. So you want to do this gradually and teach your body how to use more calories little by little. As a general rule of thumb, you want to increase your calories between 50 to 250 calories every week. And the range is there for a couple of reasons. If you're like me and you just want to do a lean bulk, you want to do it properly without putting on too much body fat, I would stick more on the lower end of that range, around 50 to 100 calories max. But if you're someone who's been on a deficit for months, you've been eating less than 1000 calories every day, you've probably messed up your hormones. If you're a girl and you've stopped getting your period, for example, you've probably gone too far. Or you're always hungry, you're tired and you have no energy, you're irritable and you have these sudden mood swings, then you might be okay being on the higher end of that range. Feel free to add 150 to 200 calories every week. Do that initially for let's say a month, and then you can just start to taper off to 50 to 100 calories moving forward. This also depends on your size. If you're a big human being, like if you're 6'6", for example, you can definitely start on the higher range. If you have no idea where you're at and you don't want to run the risk of putting on a ton of fat, just stick to the lower range and go from there. Better safe than sorry. Again, let me just remind you, this does not give you the license to start adding junk to your diet. You still need to eat a proper diet here. The second step, and this is the key to reverse dieting, is that you need to lift heavy. You need to give your body the signal that it needs to build more muscle. So whenever you lift, the last couple of reps of whatever exercise you're doing needs to be hard. Focus on good mechanics, obviously, and don't hit failure, but you need to be in struggle city on those last 2 reps. And I want you to do compound movements. Focus on squats, deadlifts, overhead press, pull-up, and plank. Because doing compound movements is the most efficient way to build muscle. It utilizes your entire body instead of isolation movements where you're just focusing on one muscle group at a time. Again, I mentioned this earlier, muscle is the key driver of your metabolism. Your metabolism goes up when you reverse diet because you're building muscle through lifting. Why? Because muscle is a very energy expensive tissue. So as you gradually eat more, those extra calories will be used towards building and maintaining muscle mass. Again, this is why lifting heavy is key when it comes to reverse dieting. If you don't lift heavy, for example, if you don't send a signal to your body that it needs to build muscle, those extra calories that you're eating don't really have a place to go. It's just gonna get stored in your butt, thighs, and belly. The third step is make sure you're eating enough protein. Again, this is why you need to track your macros in order to do this properly. Your goal is to get a minimum of 0.7 grams per pound of lean body mass. If you're super active, you can bump that up to 1 gram per pound of lean body mass. Not body weight, lean body mass. So you need to figure out your body fat percentage as well. The fourth principle is addition by subtraction. And I've made tons of videos why this shouldn't be your main form of exercise to begin with. But if you're doing a ton of cardio, let's say you're doing it for 5 to 6 days a week, you need to slow that down to maybe once or twice a week. I'm talking about traditional cardio here, like running, cycling, rowing, spending a ridiculous amount of time on the elliptical or the Stairmaster, or even group fitness classes where the main focus of exercise is just doing HIIT every day. Replace those cardio days with heavy lifting sessions instead. Why? Because lifting is anabolic. It sends a signal to your body through testosterone and growth hormone to build muscle, while running is catabolic. You're sending a signal to your body to break down muscle. Next, how do you know if your reverse diet is working? The most obvious thing is that you know it's working when you see your lifts start to go up. If you're gaining a little weight, the good kind of weight, obviously, that means you're putting on some muscle. But more importantly, there's also the non-scale victories, like if your mood and your sleep quality is improving, you have more energy and you're not as irritable, your hormones are being balanced and you're not getting hangry as much, or really any positive sign that your health is improving, like getting your period back if you're a girl. That's a sign that it's working. Now, just like with a lot of things, there's a point of diminishing returns when it comes to reverse dieting. I want you to keep increasing your calories until you get to a point where you're happy with the amount you're eating within reason, obviously. If I just start eating 4,000 calories every day, that's not reverse dieting anymore. I'm just letting myself go at that point. There's obviously a fine line here. Like if you're a recovering serial dieter, you've been on a calorie deficit for the longest time, you can stop when you reach a point where your maintenance calories should have been to begin with. Or maybe after a month or two, you've hit a different kind of plateau where you're not getting any stronger and you're just kind of getting fat. Then that's a sign that your body has now reached a new set point. You can even start a mini cut at this point, but now you've got the added boost of a higher metabolism. One last thing that I want to mention, and this is very important, is the almost inevitable thing that comes with reverse dieting, and that is weight gain. You need to be able to wrap your head around that fact. It's going to happen. This is why I always say that you shouldn't always be attached to whatever number it says on the scale, because not all of that weight is going to be fat. Remember, you're also going to be putting on muscle in this process. So you have to play the long game here. You have to think long term. If you manage to speed up your metabolism through this process, you're still setting yourself up for future success. For example, if you gain a little bit of weight for the next 2 months, but you also manage to increase your metabolism by 500 calories, you're going to be able to shed that extra weight a lot faster because now you have more to work with because of your increased metabolism. What I'm trying to say here is that your happiness and sanity shouldn't always be tied to whatever number it says on the scale. You're so much more than that. I want you to do this because you love your body, not because you hate it. Again, focus on the non-scale victories that comes with reverse dieting, like more energy, better sleep, better cognitive function, fewer mood swings, and getting to eat more food. How much better is it going to feel going out for dinner with your family and not stressing about dessert, knowing you've increased your metabolism, and now you have the added peace of mind that you're going to be okay. You can eat that cheesecake guilt-free. Focus on that awesome feeling of having that tight and toned look because now you've put on some muscle. You can do things you've never done before. You can lift heavier things. You're a more functional human being. You're now superhuman. But more importantly, focus on the long game. You're taking one step back with reverse dieting in order to take 2 giant steps forward and set yourself up for future success. The next question then becomes, how are you actually supposed to eat if you want to lose weight? Because here's the thing, 80% of your body composition is determined by your diet. You can't just freestyle this part. Do you have a proven plan that you can follow? To help you with that, I want to give you a free copy of my Lean Body Blueprint. This is how I melted all the fat around my stomach without depriving myself of my favorite foods or wasting hours at the gym. It's a simple 4-step process specifically designed for busy professionals, and it's the exact same blueprint that I teach to all my private coaching clients, and they've all gone to see some amazing results. If you want to be the next success story, then download your free copy of the Lean Body Blueprint right now. There's going to be a link somewhere at the top here or in the description box. Just click on it, type in your email, and I'll send it to you right away. All right, that's all I've got. Give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it and share it with your friends. Please subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. I post a new video every week. And hey, leave a comment below if you have any questions about this video. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Virtual high five.